Hi everyone, welcome back. Just to give you a heads up, this episode's going to be a bit different, mainly because the gameplay is Resident Evil. However, the audio is basically I didn't actually record myself when I was playing this episode. I recorded after the fact, and after the fact it was just like a day or two off of a D&D session, which, like, I think I've mentioned here and there that I love D&D. I am a DM for a group, and we reached a important part in our campaign. So I do apologize if for whatever reason you come and to watch me playing to the games and reacting to the games, because this is not that. I'm giving you a heads up. If you're just gonna hear the audio, it's gonna be complete and utter gibberish, because I'm talking about my D&D sessions, or my D&D session in particular, this last one that just passed. Most of it's basically all of it's super out of context. It's gonna be hella confusing. So if you watch to like see my reaction to the game, this is not the episode. I am sorry, but I needed to vent, and I can't vent to my best friend, because the same best friend who makes my thumbnails, because she is part of my D&D group, and I am a known spoiler person, so I can't vent to anyone. So I decided to overtake this episode of Resident Evil 7 with me jabbering on about D&D. So sorry about that. Sincerely, I am sorry. Yeah, so if you want to hear me just talk about D&D and my campaign super out of context, feel free to watch the rest of the episode. If not, I am sorry. I will have a proper Resident Evil 7 episode and then Little Nightmares sometime either this week or the following week. Also, sorry about the, not posting that much. My family went through a bit of a health scare where we weren't sure if one of my relatives had the bug or not. Everyone's fine. For the most part, yeah, we're good. Just had a bit of scare there. Yeah, so enjoy the rest of the episode if you decide to stay and listen to me rant, which, if that's the case, thank you. And yeah, so again, sorry about the ranting, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. This is what are we? Part 4. Yep, part 4 of the Resident Evil 7 series. I have been off, mind you, I'm doing a voiceover. Sorry, I'm kind of late at night recording, because I have footage. Some of them have like audio for it, others I know I have to record the audio later, or like separately. Specifically for this, I decided to record it separately since, not separately, later, sorry. Again, late at night. Yeah, but I had to get back to Resident Evil 7 because I had just kind of zoned in on Little Nightmares so much, because I love the game. It's great. I'm stuck in the last DLC, so I needed something to play that I could shoot at stuff, because I could not, can't do that in Little Nightmares. Also, my voice is kind of rough and I cough at any point. It's mainly because I've had like a dry throat for the past few days. So yeah, also, was it Saturday, I had a D&D session, which I had been planning for what was it, like a month or more? Probably like a month. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so I had been, well, no, I've been planning like a reveal for more than a month. Um, yeah, so, that happened on Saturday, or Saturday as of me recording this, which, me recording this is the 7th, so Saturday is, was it the 5th, I believe, of December? Either way, it was great. A lot of betrayal. It's fabulous. And man, do I wish I could do more D&D. I may or may not be obsessed with D&D. But also, like, I'm the DM, so... Oh, the story. I'm so excited. We're gonna do a character arc soon. Which, like, you're watching this, you're watching the gameplay, and you're just like, I have no idea what she's talking about. Completely fine. Mainly because I'm like... I don't know, like, well, I'm, like, it's a homebrew world, with just, like, oh, man, it's so much fun. But also kind of, I'm that, I'd say I'm pretty lenient as a DM. Like, I encourage creativity. Some things I'm more of a stickler for, some, like, rules. But for the most part, I'm pretty lenient. But I'm like, oh, in short, the big reveal that I was planning, was that, the character I play for the group, which is the druid, ended up, having faked her entire existence and or backstory to the group. Everything was fake about her, which, in all honesty, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It was great. Mainly, I felt really bad when, like, leading up to the reveal, they were having such great character bonding moments, and it was so sweet and kind, and I tore it all to shreds and burned their hopes and dreams. I had a good relationship with my character. Because, she's working for a god of death. You'd think, she was playing the naive, sweet role, and then after a few quote-unquote drinks and a surprising insight check that I was not expecting, because they had not really used insight for the most part, kind of ratted her out to the fact that she was pretending to be drunk, and then from that it's like, hey, so you want to just, like, tell us what's going on, because I looked on the screen and it's just like, creature in my face scared me. You want to tell us what's going on? Because, something's up. And then she did the reveal. Was like, oh yeah, Henry, the name she was using, never existed. It's always been, my actual name is Faye, and I knowingly work for a said god of death. And I have been lying to you guys the entire time. One of the characters took it especially hard. One of them surprised me. And mind you, I know I'm going off on a tangent, and, like, most of y'all don't care, like, about this, but I cannot, for the life of me, talk about my world to anybody else. So bear with me. Mainly because I tend to, I hate surprises, and I hate having to keep secret. So, this is the only outlet I have for talking D&D, especially specifically my world in the campaign, and my hopes and my dreams, and oh, man, that sounds so funny that I say it out loud, but, like, mind you, I'm aware I can plan all I want, but I have to expect the unexpected, especially from my players, as they're learning more, because we're all first-time D&D players. As they're learning more, they, dabble in this and that, and it's like, oh wait, I can insight check, I can do this. And it's so nice seeing them, like, grow and be like, wait, I can do this as a character. It's like, yes you can, and how do you want to do it? It's great. Because it's so fun. You all of a sudden, like, these players who are brand new to the game are just like, mind you, I am too. I just started around the same time they did, but somebody had to volunteer to be a DM, and I chose to be the DM. Um, yeah, so if you've made it to this point, it's gonna be basically when you're talking about D&D with Resident Evil in the background. I do apologize. Next time it won't be that, but I need a vent after last session, and if either, because I know like if any of my friends or D&D players are watching this, click off. You're not allowed to hear spoilers because it's my only way to talk about things without you guys hearing or me spoiling anything for you, which I accidentally did with one of my players who was helping me plan stuff. Mainly because I didn't realize something wasn't whited out when I thought I had it whited out. So, yeah, one of the characters who's personally, just design wise, it's one of my favorites. Mind you, my friend was my best friend. As I mentioned her before, Luna Art Gallery. I'm pretty sure I have. She's the one who does my thumbnails. Like, obviously, I commission her. She was so kind and drew sprites for the party. So, specifically for my character, I play a Furbolg, Druid Furbolg, Circle of Spores. And typically, from what I've seen, Furbolgs they tend to be like peaceful, kind, and like, you know, more like Caduceus Clay from Critical Role. Yeah, not my Furbolg. Nope. Enri is how she was introduced. Her actual name is Faye. She's works for a god of death, homebrewed god of death. Oh, why don't you have a shirt on, man? Oh shit, that's cup. I'm like watching the gameplay while recording. Yeah, so my character reveals to them more or less her backstory is that she was raised by humans up until the age of 8, and then she was quote unquote given to I guess liberators, which in reality were slavers who quote unquote took her to take her back to her people. Didn't happen. She was taught to make like poisons and stuff because she had a profound attachment to nature, specifically poisonous plants, mushrooms, and stuff. After when she was around 12, so for 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. Eventually she prays to any god for somebody to give her guidance. The god of death, which I made, imprisoned god of death, offered her his help, and in exchange she'd have her freedom, quote unquote. So she had more or less told the party this story, but twisted it with the character Enri, which is a character that she made up in game to, you know, have as a cover while she's doing her jobs for god of death. Yeah, so she did that. And mind you, up to now, the campaign, like a quick summary, we have our undead tiefling bard named Calavero, our Aracraka cleric named Tozy, a human monk named Gale, Enri / Faye, our Furbolg druid, and then we have our half elf. I can't remember if she's half elf or full elf. I think it's a half elf. Half elf, or full elf. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember. It's late at night. Oh, never mind. Again, have it full screen and then all of a sudden I see things in my face. Yeah, so we have our elf rogue, and I mean the rogue is newer to the party. She didn't start off with them. I brought her in later. Yeah, everybody had more or less bonded. She's still fairly new to the group. She kind of joined the group and chaos broke out, but she's still there because, you know, player gotta have money, gotta go on quests. Because, you know, money is useful in this world, or any world. So, what happened is that Josie, our cleric, was very kind, too kind, um, was trying to be like, no, I still accept you, maybe you just, like, you're just being misguided. Our monk, I thought was gonna punch my character in the face, and my character was technically prepared for that. Even though she can't cause any harm to them, because she made a deal with her god, or she asked for a favor of her god that her party be protected from him and his followers, including herself. Yeah, and then, mind you, the Calavero is over here really upset about the betrayal, because in that session they had a lot of bonding moments. Very, very sweet. I loved it. It broke my heart on the inside because I knew at the end of the session, oh, he was gonna just get his little heart shattered because his fellow, well, I mean, his fellow follower of a death god, who he thought was misguided in following her god in particular, because he's kind of a douche, I'm not gonna lie, and made him a douche. And then, yeah, that was all lies to him, so he got upset, obviously, and straight up just called her a bitch, and just, basically, he was like, ties are cut, I don't want you, I don't want you near me. Understandable. The one that surprised me, the reaction that surprised me was Gale, the human monk. Mainly just because I thought she was gonna punch Faye in the face. It sounded like it. Her actions made it seem like it. And then she turns it around by saying, I've been betrayed once. You're not leaving. We're gonna solve this together. And then, even though currently Galavero's hating Faye, and Faye's already in the mindset like, okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get you guys out of the trouble I brought you guys. The kindest thing I can do is just leaving, right? And then she over here pulls out the power of friendship card, and then the two characters are currently on opposite sides. They're just kind of like, what? It's like, yeah, you're not leaving. It's like, wait, you're not gonna like attack me? You don't want me to leave? And she's like, no, you're not leaving. And mind you, the rogue is indifferent at this point since she's brand new to the party. So it led to some very interesting like character development, I guess. Because I legitimately just assumed that I was gonna get attacked. Or I thought Faye was gonna get attacked by a monk. I was not expecting at all the fact that the monk was just like, no, you're staying here with us and we'll solve it together. It just threw me for a loop. Aside from the insight check, it surprised me because I was expecting, with the exception of Tozy, which he's really nice, so he wouldn't do that. But I was expecting everybody else to be upset and like, no, like, we gotta get rid of her. Yeah, and then, you know, she ended up not leaving because half of or she left their shared accommodations, but like she's still in the party, which surprised me. Definitely surprised me. I think that surprised everyone. Mainly me and the player who's a Calavero. Because we were not expecting that. I just like, oh, you're not gonna attack me? She's like, only if you try to leave. And yeah, so she didn't try to leave. It was more or less revealed how scheming my character has been from the beginning, and having played with a lot of other NPCs' lives, and setting up all these plans. Oh, I hate the mother. Again, I keep looking up on the screen. I'm just like, ugh. Just terrifying and icky. Like, ew, look at her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so she revealed to, you know, all these plans are just like, Yeah, it may have or may have not reignited a pact between uh, a NPC who was helping you guys earlier, who also kind of ratted me out to Tozy in the first place and made you guys suspicious of my true nature. But it's like a good deal because I'm gonna help her with her by her going back to her god. She's gonna get her issue with a curse fixed, and then me and my fellow followers of our god can go find her god, kill it, or kill her, and then, girl's contract is broken. It's, and then, she's free to live her life, and then our god gets rid of his competition, basically. That's the best way to summarize it. And the rest of the group are just like, wait, you're gonna go fight a god? But you're like level 5, aren't you gonna die? And my character, more or less, she's like, yeah, I die. Maybe it might just be the thing. Um, Man, now that I'm repeating it, I'm like, it sounds so over the place. But I'm like, if you like, it makes sense in the context of the world and the stuff. And man, I have been talking about D&D for almost 18 minutes. Wow, I am so sorry to whoever's watching this and like expecting me to be talking about the game and reacting to the game. I'm so sorry, but I needed to vent after a session because I feel terrible about giving my players' characters trust issues. Meanwhile, oh gosh, she's so ew. Meanwhile, my character is also having issues because for the first time in many years, she feels attachments to anyone. And generally is doing a lot of stuff to try to keep them safe because she feels like, hey, these are my friends. I like them. I also kind of like messed up, and I should have just left when I had the chance, so we, didn't make attachments, and they would be safe. And yeah, because originally that character was intended to just be with them for like a session, technically two. She was supposed to leave in session 2 when they arrived to a town after their mission, and they separated. Um, and they had a drinking contest. Everybody was drunk for a little bit, just the amount of alcohol they had. She working with poisons, like toxins and poisons don't affect her, so she can't get drunk. So she pretended to be drunk, walked off while nobody was looking, and that was supposed to be where that ended. Like, she was supposed to come back later in the game for completely different reasons. Yeah, but even in session 2, they surprised me by the fact that they went after her. And she kind of stuck around the group, and I mean, her motivations still stayed the same. She just had to postpone her departure, which made everything so. So more. Oh my gosh, words. So much more. uh, like hard for some of the characters, like the monk and our bard, and our cleric, because they had grown attached to this person that they had technically been with since the beginning of the adventure, and then just to realize that person never existed and was just a farce for them to accept her, welcome her, shelter her, and basically they were covers for her. Meanwhile, she has developed feelings for them, like attachments. She likes all of them, and realized, oh, I can't just keep using them because of not because of me, they've gotten involved in the affairs of gods that aren't theirs, and some fights between gods, and they're not strong enough to survive. I'm not strong enough to survive, but I'm more or less like, I have all these, she has all these schemes and stuff, since her primary goal is to liberate herself from her pact with her god. because she knows that he's not a good person, or yeah, he's an evil entity who has been imprisoned by his fellow gods, and she's aware that he plans to try to leave, and then chaos is gonna ensue, and then he just won't care if they follow him or not. She's fully aware of that, which is her main goal, is to double cross her god and, you know, set herself free so she can finally have true freedom, which is something she never had. And one of my players after the fact, because they asked questions like, wait, so whose side is she actually on? And I told them, like, she's on her side. Like, she's on her side because her main goal for the longest time has been survival. She wants to live and eventually have a life, like an actual life, not just running and hiding and killing and lying and being alone, because she wants to have a life. And probably, if she, assuming she doesn't die, because even if she's my character, she can't die. I told them she almost died more than once. She wants freedom, but she also wants to exist, like properly live and have an existence outside of being owned by one person or the next or a god or whatever. She wants to be able to be her own person, to be free, like truly free. That's her true goal, even if her methods aren't the best. Her methods are the best for her to survive. That's how she sees it's the best way for her to survive, is through lying and cheating and using people. Except the one thing she never accounted for was spending time with other people and, you know, establishing a friendship. But the thing that she realized rather quickly is it's a lie. Like, they don't care about me, they care about this persona that I'm putting out. Yeah, they care about this persona that I'm putting out, not myself. And that's the thing. That's one of my players said that was sad. I'm like, I mean, yes, I understand. It is sad, but it's also just her character. And I didn't realize how sad I made her character until later. But, you know, it's already set, so I'm not going to be changing that. And I really like it. And we're going into our first official character arc. And I'm so excited, like, because I made an arc for each character, so they each have their time to shine. They each have their shining moment. Because I think that every character and every player should have their time. They have stories. Each player has a character story. They should be able to shine and, you know, be the center of attention for their own. Like, it's not just about whatever my story is. These characters are the story. And for me personally, like, I believe characters make the story as much as a DM makes the world. So yeah, I made them each an arc. Currently we're going to our first character arc, which is exciting. And I mean, they don't know who's going to be the first character. I did give a heads up to one of the players just to be like, hey, your arc is going first. Just so if she's busy or anything, she can let me know ahead of time, since, you know, college students, working, because student loans are expensive. College is expensive. I don't even know what my point was. I think, yeah, it was just mainly this whole thing has just been a rant and me just trying to plan things out and think things through. Since for the main quest, I'm not able to record it, but like for one of my one of the side campaigns, which is connected to this main campaign, but it's with a following some NPCs, one of which is the one that got cursed, or got her pack reignited with a god. Like that, I'm recording. I do have, it's an unlisted play playlist on my channel called Shop Quest. And man, I wish I could share it, but like it also made no sense. And we started recording around session 6, I think. But we did so just because it's easier for us to, my note taker, to take notes after the fact. And on top of that, it's just easier in general for people to do things. Because she gets too distracted with role playing and story stuff to take notes, and so do I. Me, the DM, forgets to take notes and kind of just hopes I remember things. I write down most of it, but I do forget to take notes. Yeah, but this has been, mainly this is just a therapeutic thing for me. So thank you guys for listening to my absurdly long, just, I guess, therapy session for me? I don't know, vent session? I'm not quite sure. All I know is that next session, we're going to start a character arc. Exciting. People gonna have trust issues. Characters are gonna have angst and drama, and I love it. Because I'm fine, like, I feel like we're finally at the stage where the other players are getting more into role-playing and getting more comfortable with their characters. I'm so excited and so happy for them. Because they've made such progress. I'm so happy. Sniff. No, yeah, but if for some reason you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll just let the rest of the game play out as is. So, you know, bye, I'll see you next time.